Good morning, everyone. I'm very glad to be here today speaking to you through this platform. And as it is, we are all under lockdown, so this is the best option that we can use in this present situation. But even if we are under lockdown, it doesn't mean that your future is under lockdown. So this is also the best time for you to actually think about your future and achieving your goals. And this is where I would like to help you with, because I'll be talking about cover letter, which is also a job application letter, and also CV writing, curriculum vitae, and also a little bit on interview tips. You can start with your cover letter. The cover letter is also known as a job application letter. It is the first page that the employer is going to learn something about you. So what you have to do is, first of all, think about what you would like to add. For example, your skills, your qualifications, your experiences. These skills, qualifications, and experiences should be relevant with the job that you have applied. Since it is a job application letter, it is an official letter, so it has to be only in one page. So everything will have to, all information will have to be only in one page. You cannot add extra information which are not relevant with the post. And after writing your cover letter, you can start thinking about your CV. Before talking more about CV or curriculum vitae, I would like to also specify on a resume and a biodata. The CV, the resume, and the biodata are three different application formats. The CV is longer. It can be 2, 3, or even 4 pages long. It depends on how much information do you plan to add. The resume is shorter. It can be 1 or 2 pages long. And the resume includes only your skills, specific skills that you will need to add. And in a resume, you don't really need to add all information related with your qualifications, but only your recent or your current qualifications. For example, if you have recently completed your bachelor's degree or your master's degree, you add only your bachelor's and your master's degree. Biodata, on the other hand, is quite short. It is just a brief information that you would like to send to the employer. It doesn't have to be in detail. For the students, the final year students, I would like to discuss more on CV, curriculum vitae. The CV is best suited for students because in a CV, you can add all information, whether they are relevant or not relevant with the post that you have applied. And also, you can add hard skills and soft skills, both skills. In a resume, you need to add only hard skills. I will be discussing more about hard skills and soft skills later on. There are two types of CVs. You have the targeted CV and the untargeted CV. And for this, I am going to show you a sample of the CV. The targeted CV is a CV that you can use if you have a specific job in mind. For example, if you're applying for the post of a manager, so you can use a targeted CV. In your job application letter, you can simply write application for the post of manager. An untargeted CV is a CV that you use when you don't have any specific jobs in mind. In an untargeted CV, you simply start with your name, your address, your telephone number, and your email address. And the first information that you can add, the first section would be your languages. And for your languages, you also need to add your fluency level, your proficiency level. How fluent are you in that particular language? So your first language is your mother tongue. You need to start with that. Fluent in your mother tongue, fluent in English. If you know a third or a fourth language, you can simply understand, but you cannot speak, read, or write. You can simply write basic understanding of that particular language. The next section would be your skills section. This is where you add your hard skills and your soft skills. These are two different types of skills. Soft skills are the skills that you can acquire in any areas of your life. For example, leadership, you have teamwork, you have assertive skills, interpersonal skills. So these are your soft skills. These skills are also known as transferable skills because wherever you go, whether you work in the banking sector, whether you work in hospitality sector, you can always use these skills. Hard skills, on the other hand, are quite different because these skills should be learned only when you go to an institution. You cannot learn these skills on your own. For example, lab techniques, computer skills, these are your hard skills. The next section would be your education section. When you mention your education section, it has to be in the reverse chronological order, which means you have to mention your recent or your current education first. For example, your bachelor's degree, and then your higher secondary school leaving certificate, and then your secondary school leaving certificate. The next section would be your career-related experiences. In your career-related experiences, you can divide this into two, where you can mention your academic experiences and your work experiences. For those who do not have any work experiences yet, you can add any information from your academic experiences. For example, if you have attended a seminar, participated in a workshop, or you have completed any activities conducted by the college or also institutions outside of the college. After your career-related experiences, you can also mention your volunteering experiences. That can be a bonus for your CV. The next section would be your awards section. Have you been awarded? Have you accomplished anything at all? You can mention these. If you haven't, leave this section out. And the last section would be the activities and the interest section. What have you done lately and what are your interests, your hobbies? When you mention your hobbies or your interests, make sure you don't simply mention the name of those hobbies. You also have to mention what have you done with these hobbies. For example, if you have traveled abroad, is it part of your studies or is it just a leisure? And also if you mention reading, for example, reading. Many people, many students, they love to mention reading. But make sure you don't simply mention reading, but also what kind of books do you read. Another example that I would like to give would be music. What kind of music, what kind of genre of music do you listen to? So you have to be specific, because this is the section that the interviewers will try to ask questions first to open up the interview process. So this is the untargeted format. For the targeted format, the only difference in the format is that at the beginning, before you start your language section, you have to add your career-related experiences. This career-related experiences should be in 2 or 3 lines only. It should describe how do you plan to contribute to the organization. So that is your CV. Once you have written your cover letter and your CV, now is the time for you to prepare your online interview. As we all know, we are all under lockdown, so we have to work from home. So when you apply for a job, the interviewers will try to converse with you online, which means have an interview online. Online interviews would be similar to any traditional interviews. It is face-to-face, and also you have to prepare just like you would prepare for your other normal interviews. So what is the purpose of an interview? The purpose of an interview is for the employer to gather important information related with the candidate's interview preparation. You have to prepare, because if you're not prepared, the interviewer will find out immediately. And also to find out how well can you communicate in the language that you have used. And also to find out whether you have leadership potential or can work well in a team or not, in the form of a question. Would you prefer to lead or be part of a team? You shouldn't be afraid to give this answer. If you're confident, you can say you would like to lead. If you're not confident, you can say you would like to be part of a team. But you also have to give explanation. Why would you like to lead and why would you want to be part of a team? If you say that you would like to lead, you have to also explain, because you have been a leader or you have led a team before, okay, by giving examples. And if you prefer to be part of a team, you cannot say, I would like to be part of a team, the end. But you also have to say, I would like to be part of a team, be confident and be honest, because I've never led a team before, okay? But I am confident enough that once I start working with you, I can gain the confidence to lead my own team. And lastly, to find out whether you have clear and realistic career goals or not in the form of a question. This is very common. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Do not give an answer that will only impress the interviewers, and do not be overconfident with your answer. Don't say 5 years from now, I see myself sitting where you are. That is being overconfident. Okay? So think ahead before you give this answer. make sure you say that 5 years from now, I see myself working in your organization. And also, if you plan to study side by side, you can simply mention, also, if the company permits, I can pursue my higher studies side by side. The next slide would be related with preparation tips. Always remember to research the organization and the post before you appear for the interview. It is important because the interviewer will ask you, why did you apply in our organization and what is the post about? For example, if you apply for the post of a manager in one organization will not have the same job description as a manager in another organization. Also remember to review standard interview questions. These questions are easily available on the internet. You can simply Google search. Use these questions and rehearse for the interview. Remember, this is an online interview, so you will need somebody to help you out in asking these questions while you are giving the answer. They will be able to tell you, to give you feedback, not only on the answers, but also on your body language, your facial expression, your posture, and your hand gesture. Do a test run with your computer. Again, this is an online interview, so make sure the day before you familiarize yourself with the method the employer is going to be using, whether it is Zoom or Skype or FaceTime or any other method, and choose a good location, a location which has minimal decoration background, okay? A location which is quiet because you don't want any background noises when you are doing your interview. Eliminate any kind of distractions. Switch off your cell phone. Also, maybe you can talk to your family members or to your friends to simply not make any kind of noises during that time. And most importantly, even if this is an online interview, it doesn't mean you shouldn't dress professionally. You will be evaluated based on your appearance as well. So it is important that you dress professionally. First impression will be from your attire. Make sure you also have a backup plan. Don't panic. Don't get scared if technology isn't being friendly to you. Make sure you speak to the employer beforehand, talk with them, discuss, and also agree on an alternative. For example, maybe a telephonic interview, or maybe rescheduling the interview for a later time. And also try to explain to them, maybe they will be a little bit compassionate because, as you all know, we are in a very difficult situation. The next part would be the interview process. Make sure you are seated before the time of the interview. And if you are seated, you also have to understand the proper posture. You need proper body language. Sit straight, don't lean on the table. Make sure you use hand gesture. Smile and nod as the interviewer is speaking, because if you don't, the interviewer will not understand, will not know whether you have understood the question or not. If you have any question for the interviewer, you can interrupt politely by asking, by clarifying. And use a lot of hand gesture. If you don't use hand gesture, the interviewer will not know whether you're confident or not. As it is, if you use hand gesture, people understand that you are a confident person. Maintain eye contact. Do not look at the screen, but make sure you look at the webcam. During the interview process, make sure you speak slowly and clearly. Do not rush. This is not a quiz. You don't have to give your answer immediately. Pause, think for a few seconds, and then give your answer. Listen attentively. Do not interrupt the interviewer if you don't have to. Let them finish. The interviewer will know when the interview is over, and when it is done, make sure you thank them for their time. And after the interview, until and unless the interviewer has logged out, do not log out yet. So this is it for today's session. Thank you so much. And I'll be adding my email here so that you can prepare your CV and send it to my email for evaluation. Thank you so much and stay safe.